Welcome back, friends. This is Richard, founder of Short Term Rental University. Wow, I didn't flub that, Charles. That actually worked out okay. That's my first time actually saying it on camera, and feels great. I hope you're excited as I am. In any event, today we're going to be looking at Ryan and Tamar's listing. They paid for the listing review, and so we very much appreciate that, Ryan and Tamar. And just as a recap, what we do is 6 steps here. Title, the photos in the order, the thumbnail that Ryan and Tamar have selected, the description, how they describe their property, then the reviews that they've received, and then finally we talk about their pricing. So let's get started. So first up is the title. And here we've got a star, which I like a lot, capitalized free, private parking, plus quiet and secure, and another star. And I think that the stars are attention grabbing, so I think that's really interesting, Ryan and Tamar. I'm not very familiar with Indianapolis, but presumably people are looking to rent your place either for its location, its size, its convenience, its something, but unlikely that they're renting your place for the parking. That's a perk, that's a benefit, but that's not the selling point. So I think that the title can really be vastly improved. And what I like to see in the title is selling the dream, talking about the experience, talking about the convenience, talking about the proximity, talking about the spaciousness, talking about the comfort, something. And I do like the stars a lot. I think it's attention grabbing, but I think you're missing a big opportunity. Like for instance, if I came to Indianapolis and I planned on using an Uber or a bus or somebody else was driving me, I didn't have a car, then I'm not even going to look at your listing because I don't even have a car. So therefore, free private parking doesn't really appeal to me. So I think back to the drawing board on that. You'll probably see a lot more clicks and then ultimately conversions once we start to sell the dream and or the location or the experience. So that's the title. That's my 2 cents. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the photos. Give me a minute and I'm going to go ahead and scroll through. Okay, so I've taken a look at the photos here, and I think the photos in general are very good. They describe this place adequately and appropriately, and I think what they highlight to me more than anything is that you care, it's clean, it's neat, it's orderly, but I also think there's a little bit room for improvement in regard to making it more livable, more approachable, more like comfortable. It looks very much like a hotel, if you will, and that's not a bad thing, but part of the charm of being in somebody's home at an Airbnb is that it feels a little bit more like a home. And so I think there's a few touches that I would bring out, and then the photos, like I said, the quality is high, but what they highlight to me is the opportunity to improve the photos through decor. So for instance, on this very first photo here, there's a lot of monotone beige, gray-ish colors. The throw pillars bring up a little bit of accent. I do like the magazines on the desk here. Those magazines are missing in the later shot. I'll point that out later. And I like the wine up here. Again, I like to see them maybe set with wine poured. You know, just you and Tamar can enjoy the wine after you do the photo shoot. I like to see some magazines or art on the coffee table. And I think a really inexpensive rug with some color underneath the coffee table would go a long way. You could probably get it somewhere inexpensive like an IKEA or online, maybe $100, $159. This white wall here looks like you could use some artwork. This lamp in the corner here, I'm sure it's functional, but it's not very tall and it doesn't look very pleasing aesthetically. It looks like it's there for utility and functionality. But overall, I think the photo is taken well, although it's a little too overexposed here. So maybe dim down on the f-stops so that you get a more accurate representation. And I've said this before, I like to see what's past those windows. Like, what am I looking at? So that's my thought on this photo. Here again, I think that the place looks really clean and neat and so on. I think a rug would do really well. Maybe an orchid or a candle or a magazine on the coffee table would look great. And I think it's a little weird that the lamp here in the corner is shorter than the tree, and that kind of looks like a fake tree, which is fine if you're not going to be able to water it and so on. But this just looks like it's not the right proportion. So I would encourage that to be changed. The artwork, I think, is a little bit, I don't know what the right word is, dreary. It's a personal selection, but like we're trying to encourage people to come here and be upbeat and be excited, and between the color tones and not a lot of personal touches and not a lot of color, it just sort of looks like a Marriott courtyard or something like that, which again, is a great business. They do really well. Tons of business travelers enjoy it. So I'm not being critical in the negative sense, but what I'm trying to do is make it a little bit more exciting relative to, say, other listings in the Indianapolis area. Here's a really easy fix. This wire from the television, Charles and I just did this in one of my units. Just go buy white duct tape. I mean, the right way to do it is you can get a U channel, it's white, and you can like attach that to the wall and just hide the cable. Takes a little bit more work. It's not any real expense, but we didn't have time or the know how to do that. So all we did was we went a little bit more ghetto with it, and it just looks much better, which is literally buying white duct tape at Home Depot or at Amazon, and then just tape the black cord against the white line. And if the white doesn't really match, you can even just paint over that. Again, really ghetto, back of the envelope. There's a better way to do it, but it's certainly better than leaving it the way it is right here. Again, here I see the wine. It's not out this time. I really just enjoy seeing the place being like used and vibrant and the wine opened and set. I like the uncork and unwind, and I'd like you to take that same advice and uncork it and unwind it, make the place look a little bit more lived in. Not filled with clutter, not messy, not dirty, just lived in. I do like the way that you're describing in all of the different photos what is being done here and what it's used for, and I think that that's great. I didn't see this before, but it looks like you have some sort of instructions on the counter. That's probably pretty helpful. And now that I look a little more carefully from this angle, I do see the magazines there. What might be nice, even if it's just for staging purposes, is putting your own laptop there and suggesting that people can use it. Maybe put down in the description here, laptop not included, or bring your own laptop, but showing people why this little desk is there. Another thing you could do really inexpensively, and I've done this successfully too, is go get a Google Chrome like notebook or a Google Chrome and an inexpensive monitor and include that for people so that they don't have to bring their own. This photo, I like the color of the duvet and the pillows. It looks like the pillows are a little bit of a mismatch. Like, I'm not sure. This, or maybe there's another pillow there. I'm not exactly sure. It's not exactly symmetrical. Again, really nitpicky, but that might be helpful. And I like to see maybe a bottle of water or a magazine on the nightstands. I would probably shoot this photo from a little bit lower. Again, the best practice is to shoot the photo from the angle that you're seeing it. And so even though you're walking into the room, you're not actually standing over the bed, probably a little bit lower. This photo is probably a little bit better height. And here I can see, I think the mismatch that I was seeing before from that other angle was just the size difference in these two pillows. So I think probably another pillow like this would be better, and then make this one an accent pillow as well. And again, I think just something on the night table, whether it's a candle or a orchid or a magazine or something, just to make it, again, a little bit more like lived in and hospitable. Same goes with this bedroom. I think the angle's a little bit awkward. You're a little bit high. The bed is a little bit wrinkled, but you know, I get it. The color selection here, the color palette, I think is a little bit, I don't know if it's, it feels like it's a little bit like beachy, but from like the 1980s color pattern, you know, the coral and all that. And I don't have a problem with it, but if you're looking for improvement, if and when you're ready to spend a little bit more money, I might change the color pattern into something that's a little bit more like 2017, and it might be a little bit more in the grays, whites, blacks, blues, this like teal and beige. I don't see too much in magazines. I've suggested that before. If people like, if people aren't sure what to do and how to decorate, just go out and pick up a bunch of magazines or look online. Go to Houzz, H-O-U-Z-Z, has tons of tips. Pinterest is great. So if you're struggling with it, there's plenty of resources. Here's another angle. Interestingly, I think the back of this unit, I think this unit was assembled incorrectly. I can see space under here, and it just, again, looks kind of empty. I do like the fact that the lights are lit and the bed is made nicely and it looks really comfortable. And interestingly, I commented as I was looking through this before, I think this might be your best shot in terms of just a lived-in, decorated, comfortable. The bathroom looks remarkable. I see extra toilet paper, I see nicely folded towels and rolled up towels, and I see a hairdryer, and I see Kleenex, and I see all sorts of, accessories over here. And so like this room looks lived in, this room looks inviting, this room looks different than I would see at a Marriott Courtyard. And so even though it's probably the least exciting space itself, I think that the photo and the care and attention that you've put in here, this really shows me that you're, caring as a superhost, and the place is really comfortable, and I think this is really well done. I love the fact that you put in reviews, and the reviews that you put in talk a lot about downtown Indianapolis is 7 minutes away. It's great for business and leisure. Ryan was courteous and respectful. I think that's great. Perfect stay. I like the fact that you responded here. You're too kind. It's the least we could do. I think that that's a really nice, upbeat, hospitable way to respond. As always, I encourage you to respond to all of them, just so that people see that you're present and responding. This shot, I think, could be improved, and I'm not exactly sure how. I don't know where your unit is here. Is it in one of these front units? Is it one of the back units? Are you on the first floor? Are you on the second floor? Maybe a little Photoshop arrow saying this is us, or something like that would be helpful, because I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. And again, you're highlighting the parking. And then this is very clearly the parking. So perhaps parking is a much bigger deal in your neighborhood or in Indianapolis. I live in New York City. New York City parking is a huge deal, and this would never exist. But unless it's a major, major attraction and a major reason, it shouldn't be in your title, and you shouldn't devote 2 photos to it. You should just say, we offer parking, convenient. This is a beautiful shot. I don't know if you've taken this shot or if you've used it from somebody. If you're borrowing it from somebody, make sure that you have the legal rights to use it so you don't run into any legal problems. But beautiful colors, beautiful sky, vibrant, it's exciting. I would push this way forward. It's number 13 of 18. I may not have made it here. And I would maybe talk about how many minutes, and what things to do. You can make these descriptions longer. So push this forward in the listing and talk about we're 7 minutes, we're 1.2 miles, we're 2 bus stops away, we're whatever from, and then put 1 or 2 destinations. Whatever we're looking at here would be a good place to start. I think this is a really great place. Several restaurants and local coffee shops within walking distance. I would push this forward also. Certainly before doing redundant shots of the same, like you have 2 shots of the bedrooms. Let's show people what's in walking distance. I like this a lot. We mentioned it early. You might want to have the wine poured and just say, I like to take care of my guests, and the wine is there poured. This is a cool poster. It's worth taking a look at. Doesn't add a lot of value to me. Some cool artwork. This doesn't add a ton of value. In fact, I don't think I've seen this in the house, so I'm not sure where this is, but it's colorful. And then blue car rentals available 1 block away, 200 plus parking stations are all over Indy. And I feel like I'm missing something, but I feel like parking must either be the biggest problem in Indianapolis, or it's like a personal hang-up of yours, or people are coming only to Indy to rent cars and park. But I think there's way too much emphasis on parking, and we need to put more emphasis on your location, on your hosting capabilities, on the premises themselves, the comfort of the 2 bedrooms, the location, the experience. So I would just tone down the parking. I think it's excessive. Okay. Let's now talk about the thumbnail selection. And I think based on all these photos, this is the best thumbnail photo. I might retake it, as I mentioned, if you put that orchid or candle or both on the coffee table and get a little throw rug underneath there, change this lamp and make it something that looks a little bit more elegant. They don't have to be expensive. You can get taller ones for like $19. But this one just sort of looks too small in that room, or like as an afterthought. And the rest of the place looks, very clearly thoughtful. So that just looks like an oversight. But I think this is probably your best thumbnail. And accordingly, the fact that we're highlighting that it's an open concept living area with the kitchen, bar, and desk to work is probably something that your title should talk about, right? Like in your thumbnail shot, you don't talk about the parking. And so therefore your title and your thumbnail shot probably should go hand in hand and make it a more cohesive experience. So people are looking at something and what they're reading sort of relates to that. I like the whole open concept living area. I might pick up on this uncork and unwind theme. Convenient to everything, great place to unwind after the day, or whatever. You can play with that. And again, A/B test it. Okay, so let's turn to the description. There's some things in the description that I really like. I think it's very thoughtful. For instance, the fact that it's fully equipped and stock kitchen with snacks and water too. I think that's awesome. I'd like to see some of that water on the nightstands. On-site washer and dryer, and you're including this detergent. I love this smart TV with Netflix and Hulu so that people know that they can stream. I think that this 2.5 miles to the convention center and Lucas Oil Stadium needs to be brought out in some of the photos. 1 block to a grocery store, 1 block to the car rental, quiet neighborhood, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And this is something that I haven't seen before and I absolutely love, so everyone should do this. I guess this is an Airbnb link, a referral or affiliate link that Airbnb is encouraging Ryan and Tamar to go ahead and get more people to use Airbnb, and who they're using it for are first-time guests staying at their place to give them a discount. I think that's really great. And I love this hospitality. Please let us know how we can make your stay more comfortable or convenient. So I think that that's great. I like this. Please remember that you're staying in a house and not a hotel. Treat the place with respect. And I might change this a little bit. It seems a little bit negative. If any problems arise, we will do our best to take action ASAP, but there was no one living on site 24/7. I think we all understand what you're trying to say. I would just try and phrase it from a position that's a little bit better, meaning more positive, like, although we don't live on the premises, we are available and always respond as quickly as possible, or something like that. So I took a look at all the different things that you offer. I would like to see the speed of the wireless internet mentioned so that I know that I can stream that Netflix. I am always a big fan of charging people if there's more people that stay. The cleaning fee seems light to me, but if you think that that's what it costs, and you say you support the living wage pledge, so if it really costs you $69 and you support the living wage, then that's fine. If you're subsidizing it, then increase it, go to 80, go to 90, go to 100. It's a 2-bedroom place. There's lots of laundry, towels, sheets. So I think that that's okay. You've heard me say this before, but I don't believe in monthly or weekly discounts. I think if you're using dynamic pricing, and we recommend beyond pricing, the discounts are all built in, right? Like, I've never checked into a hotel and been told if you stay for a week, you're going to get a discount, or if you stay for a month. And I'm not sure that we as short-term rental hosts should be thinking about that as well. So I definitely think you should be charging more for people that are using the couch or the air mattress. And I think that moderate cancellation is a personal preference. You've heard me say it before. I like strict while it still exists. And the minimum stay varies. So that's a pretty good description. I think you can do more to sell the experience and talk about like what people can do, who comes here, business travelers, couples, students, what do they do? What do they come to Indianapolis for other than park and rent cars? Like, that's clearly a big thing, and let's take the focus off that and talk about what happens at Lucas Oil Stadium, what goes on in the convention center, what else happens in and around the area, where's the shopping area, what are the restaurants, what are the foods, let's sell the location a little bit more, please. Turning now to the reviews. So you clearly know exactly what it is that you're doing. You're doing it incredibly well. You've got 22 5-star reviews with everything, including value. And I think that that's an opportunity for you to increase your pricing so that you are more profitable. The reviews are all very positive. Everybody talks about that you guys are great, the apartment was clean, good location, safe, I'll stay here again, easy to communicate. Everything looks really good, convenient. Again, I think you can do a better job of responding. These are all in October, September, so it looks like you're doing quite well, but there's no real response from you. So let's try and take a minute to be a little bit more on top of it. And here, for example, somebody who didn't have a car and still stayed there. They were $5 or $10 Lyft rides away. So anyway, the reviews are fantastic and everything looks really good. I think you have room to increase your pricing. It looks like you're about 50% sold out in November, about 50% sold out in December, maybe a little bit more, and then no real bookings out. It looks like March might be booked. And your prices are dynamic, so you're using something. Anyway, I think that there's probably an opportunity for you now that you're a super host with 22 5-star reviews to increase your base price, and I'd be curious to know what dynamic pricing service you're using and what you think, how it's working for you. But overall, keep doing what you're doing. This is fantastic. To the extent that you're enjoying it and you want to grow your business, I'd encourage you to get a second one because you're off to a flying start and it's fantastic. And all these little changes that I'm recommending for you are really just like a few more photos, a little bit more decor. You could invest $200 and take care of everything that I'm talking about, which is really like one night. And I think you'll get 10x the return every year, not just like year one, but every year you'll get more bookings and your business will grow faster. And not only that, you'll be able to increase your pricing so your profitability will go. So that's how you scale. And then you take that money to the extent that you're enjoying it and you buy a second place or you rent a second place or a third place or a fourth place. Anyway, this is fantastic. I've really enjoyed reviewing it. I appreciate your supporting us and paying for the review. And I also love the fact that you were the very first person and the very first time that I got to say, Richard Fertig with Short-Term Rental University. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed reviewing it. And Ryan and Tamar, I appreciate you paying for this and supporting us. If you want yours reviewed, go ahead and click the link below. And like the video, please, and go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you guys soon. Happy hosting.